Hey everyone, this is JB in Frisco. I am upgrading my Drobo tonight with a little bit more storage, and I thought I'd take this moment to show you guys exactly what the Drobo is for and what it can do. I get questions sometimes from folks when they see me talking about it on Twitter, so I thought I'd just do a real quick 2-3 minute presentation here on what the Drobo is. So take the cover off. Essentially what this device does, as you can see, it has a pretty low profile, just sits on my desk, and I'm using it as a storage device for my desktop computer. As it stands now, as you can see, it's got 4 bays in here, 2 of which are empty, and then I've got a 1 terabyte here and a 1 terabyte here. The way Drobo works is it gives me 2 terabytes of total storage, but 1 terabyte of usable storage. So it works out to be about half of what your total storage is to use as data redundant backup. And what that means is if one of these drives fails, I don't actually lose my data, and I have time to go and get a replacement, slide it in, and then Drobo will go back to work. What happens is if one of these drives fails, because I'm only using half of the total storage, I still have a backup copy. So this works very much like a mirrored RAID drive used to, or still does, but back in the days when you used to have mirrored drives, this is the same concept, except it's very simple, very easy. They designed it from the ground up, and their one expectation that they tried to set with all their customers is that you don't need to have a technical degree to figure out how to get this thing to work. It works off of FireWire and USB. You can daisy chain them, so there's actually 2 FireWire slots in the back, so if you had another Drobo, you could daisy chain them. This particular Drobo allows you to have up to 16 terabytes, so 4 terabyte drives per slot, so it's very expandable and scalable. Right now, obviously, the best way to go is to buy 1 terabyte drives because they're inexpensive. They're under $100. But as storage becomes cheaper and it grows in capacity, 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte, I'll be able to grow my storage solution with this backup. I'm using this, as I said earlier, to back up my iMac. And I'm protecting, essentially, I'm buying protection for hard drive failure. If I get hard drive failure on my iMac, I have a bootable backup on this particular device that I can boot up my iMac off of and then rebuild the iMac's internal drive after I get that fixed. Very, very reassuring to knowing that I have this data backed up at all times. Today I'm going to be adding 2 more terabytes in here, terabyte apiece, so that I can back up this guy that has a lot of my video footage, video content. I have almost a terabyte of video data that I want to have backed up and in a way that if I have a failure in either option, I still have 1 more backup. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this. This particular device works with all 3 major OSs. It's totally agnostic, Windows, Mac, or Linux. So that's another interesting point about this. And it's a pretty inexpensive device. The actual Drobo costs, I think, less than $500. And then you can fill it up with drives. You can get a terabyte drive now on Amazon for under $100. You can mix and match, so you can put a 500 gigabyte drive in with a 1 terabyte drive, and the Drobo will calculate what your total usable redundant storage is as it goes. So anyway, let's get the first drive in here and I'll show you what happens. Okay, we're back and getting ready to put this drive in here. You want to be really careful when you handle these hard drives. You don't want to get fingerprints or anything on them. You really want to try and handle them delicately. So I'm sliding this guy in. Now, the drive is in. You're watching this live. Drobo is sensing that there's a new drive in here. and it's starting to go to work. I can hear it whirring up as we speak. Once it does its thing, this green light will show up. As you can see, the 2 green lights for the other 2 drives, showing that they're operational. Everything's going, and boom, I just added terabyte of total storage to my backup solution. And as you can see at the bottom here, my addressable available space has also improved. And that's how simple it is. I'm going to do the other drive, and then I'm also going to show you what happens on the dashboard software product for this app. Okay, this is the dashboard for Drobo, and I'm going to go ahead and slide in the last drive. I'll show you what happens here. As you can see, this is the space that I've used for my backup on my iMac. It's on its own drive, and then look how quick that is. This is how much unallocated space I have now. This is what I'm going to use to back up the drive, and the 4th drive is already going. So it's been a little Drobo presentation. I hope you guys have found it useful. If you have questions about it, feel free to give me a call. There's a ton more you can do with this. You can actually put it on a network store, so you can actually access it from a network, which is pretty sweet. I haven't even played with that, and there's a whole bunch of applications that are built that add on to the function, that make the functionality of the device that much more. You can actually there's some iTunes applications where you can access your music from anywhere. There's a lot of really cool features of this thing, and I'm just starting to dig into it. So would love to hear your thoughts. If you have one or you're planning on getting one, definitely hit me up. JB in Frisco on Twitter. Thanks. Have a good day.